Let me get on board Kunal Bothra now to understand what the market dynamics have been so far. And Kunal, if you recall before the holiday and before the last half an hour of trade, when we saw that Ukraine news coming in, the market was holding up pretty well. And, it was making investors happy. We had a good rally coming in on that day, but seems to have reversed. You have a lot of pressures that are coming into play, and the market has taken a beating today as well. How longer does this continue going ahead? Because it seems like the FIIs are not, while they are reducing what they are selling, it doesn't seem like they're changing their pattern anytime soon. So other than that factor, what do you think is ailing the market so much right now, and when can we expect some type of recovery?
Yeah, I think a lot of news flow for the markets, and a weaker market doesn't require too much of push to try and get back into more weakness, because that's what we've seen over the last 7 weeks, or this is the 8th week in fact, where we've seen the Nifty correcting and falling very sharply. One of the prime reasons for that, of course, is the dollar index, which has moved from 100 to 107 odd mark, and I think now it's threatening to go above a major resistance point or breakout point, which is closer to that 107 levels. So my sense is that maybe over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we may see some bit of resilience and some bit of comeback in terms of consolidation coming back into our markets. But I believe that what matters over here is the if the index holds on to that 23,000 mark as a strong pivot support over the near term. So if we break below that 23,000 mark, say over the next 1 or 2 weeks, then I would believe that we could be in for much more sharper correction. If that happens on the back of 2 important data points, one is if the dollar index managed to rise back above the 107 mark, as well as if the India VIX, which is still at 16 odd levels so far, if we manage to see a breakout above 18 odd mark, we could be looking at the fall getting a lot more aggravated. So it's still time that we may probably expect the index to consolidate for the next 1 or 2 weeks, but that may not change the trend or the trajectory for the index unless these 2 important key data points which I highlighted, I think if they start to recede.
These are some real worrisome, words coming in from you also, because the way we've seen, we're already on an oversold zone. We thought that there could be some respite coming in, but then we'll have to look at from this perspective. It's not just the price-wise correction; it could be a time-wise correction also. And you said that the fall could aggregate from here. So where do the margin of safety lies? Will that be IT stocks or pharma stocks? Where would you recommend some trade for our viewers?
Yeah, it's difficult to recommend sectors, and especially hiding sectors, because in this kind of a market, everything generally takes a beating, whether it's the stronger stocks or the weaker stocks. The weaker, of course, the ones gets a lot more weakness, and the weakness gets a lot more pronounced into those kind of counters. But 2 stocks which I would want to highlight, and the ones which have been a lot more resilient and still being very sturdy and strong. One of them is Power Grid. So far, the stock is holding on pretty well for itself. It's bounced off from its 200 moving average, just about that 316 to 320 range. So would look out for targets in the range of 334, stop loss to be kept at 316. And the second would be a Baan Master Seamless. Even this stock is an interesting play. The stock has over the last 2 or 3 months been a lot more sideways, closer to 620 odd mark. It's nearing a breakout point where it could retest the previous resistance of 650 mark. So would look out for targets in the range of 650, stop us at 610.
Power Grid and Maha Seamless, 2 buy calls coming in from Kunal. Kunal, thanks so much for sharing your view as well, your stock picks with our viewers. On that note, we'll let you go.